Hello guys, welcome back to this channel, and in this video we are going to make a calendar app UI. We are going to make a calendar app UI here, and let's create the design first. Let me connect to the my companion so I will see all the actions on live. Let's create one uh, another screen because I don't want to work on the screen one. Let's open another screen. Oh, sorry. Open another screen, calendar. So we are going to make another screen calendar here. Let's copy this because all the settings will be copied here. Let's delete this, and we will design here everything our calendar. And for demo purpose I'm going to use this calendar here, and I got that from Google, and we are making this calendar view. So first let's create the body here with fill parent height and width and white background, and rename this as body. So we will recognize this very simply, and let's make it horizontally center. Everything inside this will be centered horizontally. So let's add some space on the top, like 50, something like that, and create. Let me think about how I can achieve this. Then we have to add this big title, and let's say, and I renamed this label here as a big title, and here our the title or selector date will be visible here. So let's change the color, something like blue, and then I can make it more bigger, like 32. Let me check on my companion how it looks like, how big it is, so we can change the font size according to that. It is taking some time here because my internet is really slow. And design looks okay to me. This is the font I have changed to 26, so because I don't want a very big font over there. This is enough for me, 24. Now I can start creating these um, values like days of the week. So let me create a one horizontal here with let's say 40 pixel height and fill parent. Let's add some kind of color so we can see on the screen how big it is, and vertically going to be center. And then we can create um, seven vertical arrangements where we can add our days and all other stuff like text and labels. Let's say Sunday, and add another color here because I don't like this, the default black one. Let's say Sunday, duplicate this, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yeah, that's enough for me. And let's add some spaces around here, like cut this and paste above with like 5 or 7 pixel, because I want same space around these days here. And let's say paste below, so 8 pixel in the end. Let's change these labels tags like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So these are the days here now. Now let's create another. Let me think how I can make this type of. So let's create horizontally again. So we have to copy this. Let's duplicate, add some height because it will separate from the title, and let me add some sort of color so I can see where the what the height and width of this um, a vertical arrangement. Let me delete this. And what if I use this button? um, it won't be like visible, I guess, because it has at least 40 something. Let's say 40 to 40 width and height. And let's try even uh, text is going to, let's say, 28. So it is visible on my phone. And let's say little smaller, 36 by 36. Let me check if the values is not so okay. 30 versus 30 width and height. Yeah, I want 30 40. Let's say height of this, let me check, 40. So I can write 40 by 40 width and height of this, which is not enough for me, so I'm going to change this to 44. And button is going to be 44 by 44, and also no shadow. And let's make the text of the button is going to be 12.5 pixels. Yeah, that's enough. And let's delete, even I can delete these things here because I will work with the buttons here. So let's delete delete also these. And now let's change the color because I want to keep it transparent. And this is selector, and let's say let's duplicate this first and change the color to whatever the background color is. um, let's say white, and text going to be some dark color, because this is a selected color and we can change the color of this background is going to be transparent. Yeah, it looks very nice to me in my phone, in my companion. And let's change this to 10 because I don't feel 8 is enough for. Okay, let's duplicate these again. Duplicate through 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 7. So let's change to bigger screen. Okay, these are now 7 days. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks really nice in my phone. And let's change the color of this background because the black doesn't look nice. Yeah, because this color looks nice to me now. And it will show you the selected date or today's date. And we can add events in these calendar also in the future. In the next of this video, in the another part, I will show you how you can add your own events and to keep remember the dates, things to do on those days, and will be added in the next video. And in this video I'm just making the design thing only. Let's say 70. And let me copy this, duplicate this again, and change this color, background color, to white, and text is going to be the darker one. So let's say 6, it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now let's duplicate this again. Let's say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And let's duplicate this again for more rows to create it. And it is taking some time because my internet is slow. And 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, 26, and 27. Let's duplicate this row once more. This is the last row we are going to create. Now it's been created, and let's change the dates here. 28, 29, 30, and 31. And rest of these selected dates is going to be empty for now. And let's copy this. It's a 28, so let's paste that here, paste this properties here, and let's copy this button and paste that properties here, because this is the 28th of December is selected, and the first one is empty because the December month is start from Monday. This is just an example, but will be generated by dynamically in the next video. And let's change little bit this, because this is because there's no much space between two rows, so let's change to 50, and 50 also these four rows. Yeah, it looks fine to me now. And well, I don't want to add 50. That's not the good point, because if I change the color of this, let's say to any yellow color, let me check how it looks like. Yeah, by adding 50 is not the good idea, so let's change this back to 44. but we will add some spaces between those rows here. Let's change back to 44, and let's copy this space and paste below this here, and let's make it, let me copy this property here, paste properties. Also let's change the color so we will see the difference between those. And let's change to blue here and make it to 10 pixel, I guess is enough, maybe less, like a 6. Let me check on my phone. Yeah, it is pretty much enough, I guess. Maybe I can try 4. Yeah, I will be happy with 4 or 6. Those are all fine. Let's make it 5. Okay, 5 is enough. And let's move forward and clear this background, and also changes. This one is going to be, let's copy this, copy and paste properties, and let's change to 10, and also change the color to the white or transparent, sorry. And now let's move forward and try another features here. And let's also remove this background color from here. And we need uh, 2 colors for selection. Let's add some these, let's copy these and paste in under all these rows so we can get some space here. And because I have use some more space under here because I want to keep this separate from here. Even I'm thinking to make it more space under this, but I will keep the 20 here. And let's create another vertical, let's say fill parent width and height. Just hold on a second because it is loading on my companion. So let's change this up with white transparent background. And let's create something like add event, so we can add some events for selected dates. Let's create one button here. We can create a custom button by using this card view. Let's make it center, and let's try to use the same color as this blue, and copy this space. And because there's no space here between them, between these rows and this button, so let's paste some space here. Or maybe we can use just simply buttons here. Let's copy this and paste that inside this vertical arrangement. Let's say width is like 80% and height is going to be auto, and let's make it round. Maybe let's try with the 90% because in my phone I can see some more extra spaces on the side, so we will keep this as the same as this wider. So let's say 94 pixel. Add an event, so we can add an event, or let's say task for today. Add a task. Okay, we can write add a task. Let's see if I can use any icon with these text, but I don't think so. So let's just add here. And I think we have to change the color to something else. Let's try this yellow, and text going to be dark gray or anything like black. And I want to keep the shadow away. And let's make these fonts to 14 for this button. And And now we can add more things down below, where we can add some like a dynamic list, the like these things. So we can add another vertical here, and let's copy the properties and paste that properties in this vertical. And then we have to add some space again. Let's say paste this below here, and also move this here. Let's make it to 30 because I want to keep this really separate from those buttons and rows. Let's make it bigger so we can see everything. And here we can um, use like 94% width, and then we can generate our like some kind of um, list here. So we can generate, let's say to the keep it this to the left, and in this we are going to add another some text here. We are going to generate some text like time or something like that. As you can see, time and the title of the task. So we can use this as a bold, where we will add some time like 0750 am or pm, whatever it is. So we can add this, and we can add some like dash here to separate those dates. Let's grab the title for task here, event or task, whatever it is. So we can grab this here, and let's say this what it is, a morning yoga class. Morning yoga class. And let's make it just lighter because I don't like the too much um, dark text, so I'm going to make it lighter. Let's say 6:1 is enough for me. and we will generate these with dynamic extension. So let's make this as a transparent because I don't like these colors on in the behind. And these will be generated here with some like dynamically when the any date is selected. According to that date, the data will display here. And this is enough, I think, but I don't like the color of this button. But let's change this something else, or maybe let's add some height to the button. I'm very specific catered to the UI because this is the only one thing that attracts user. So I'm very sophisticated to the UI things. I try to make a very unique and minimal UIs of the app. So that's why I take so much time to make these kind of videos and these kind of apps. And this video is going to be very longer, sorry for that. And let's grab some color here, like let me copy this, and I'm going to get the RGB. I'm going to get the RGB of these colors. Let me paste that. This is the color we have used, so I can click here and get the RGB. It's a 9106220. So let's say in the blocks we can say selected color, and we can make a color with this component or block, sorry. And it's a 9106 9106 and 220. So this is a selected color, and let's say default color, which is white, and it's 255 255 and 255. So this is the background, white background color, and this is the selected color when user will select any value, any date, I mean. And let's say, let me try to make this dynamically. So first of all, I'm going to make the backup of this file here, and let me copy this here. Now let's uh, use a selection. Sorry, first we have to create the these rows dynamically. So we have to grab the dynamic extension here, and I'm going to use this old version because I'm very comfortable with that. In the latest version I get some errors and stuff like that, so I don't use the latest one, 2.2.2, which is latest, but I use 2.0. As you can see, it's a 2.0, but there's a latest version is 2.2.2. So but I'm not using that, so much complicated for me. I get so many errors with that, so I'm going to use this version. So let's grab this, make sure you save, because sometimes it doesn't save because of your slow internet. And let's say here we can add another vertical arrangement, because we can create these rows inside this vertical. Let's make it to the transparent with fill width. And let's make it to the wider as a width. Keep this center, it doesn't matter, but if you don't want to keep the center, and let's rename this dates container. All these rows will dynamically created inside this container. And let's create this UI, and we have to run this 5 times because we have 5 rows here. As you can see, it's a 5 rows, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to run this 5 times, and let's make a logic, because I like to work with these procedure things. It helps me to create the whole block area is clean. And let's say first we have to add this inside the dates container, because we are going to generating all the rows inside the container. And then let me just collapse all these. So we have to generate this first. Let's say container, and id is going to be random id. Let's use some local variables. I like to work with local variables because it make my work very easy. Let's say row id, and then we can add row id here. Let's say it's a row id is going to be the last used. Just holding this parameter, and then say, let's say any horizontal arrangement width, sorry, height is going to be the same height of this, because we can manage height and all these properties from the design area. So let's say height, and then use the component get component by id, and id is last used id. So this is the container. Let me just inline this so we can have more space down below. And let's see the another properties here which we have used: vertically center. All these things like width and vertically center, we have to check if it's both vertically center or not. Yes, so we can add its width to -2, which means fill parent. So going to use -2, and let's say vertical is center, and then this is created here. We can check if you want by just simply refresh this screen, or we can try with something else, like use the background color, something, let's say this red color, and we will see everything here. So I can see on my phone it has generated 5 these rows here. So let's delete this, because I just want to make sure if it's generated or not. And other thing we have to generate is inside this is, so this is here, let me just, so we have to generate these spaces. Let me check. Yes, this space here and space in the end. So I can use this dynamically again, because it has two spaces in the start and beginning, and in the last of the end of this row. So we can use this another uh, procedure here, which can be dynamically used. So let's say space, and then we can use this space here, and let's say inside we have to pass the its um, parent id. So parent id is this here, let's say this row id, and get component by row id, or we can use this like here, and we can say this as a parent id. Inside the parent id we can generate space here. Let's say I want to generate space and add some properties like any space, and let's say width width and height we can use. Let's duplicate this, add this here, and we can use dynamic spaces here, width and height. Let's say width, height. So for height is going to be this height, and for width it's going to be width. So here we can use um, width and height from this spaces. Let's say width and height, or we can say just we don't need any kind of height, but we can type this height if we need. It doesn't matter, we can use like 2 pixel, 5 pixel, whatever, like this. It's just we don't need any height here, so we can write 5, so it will generate space here. And then after space we have to generate the same thing again like this. So we can use another procedure here. It's gonna be date box. We can say date box, and or we can say just a simple date, and then we can grab this sim date here. Again, one more thing we need always is parent id. This parent id is going to be again like a row id, and then let's say let's duplicate this, and this is going to be parent id. And then we can generate our vertical with random id, and let's say some properties. Let's see what properties we need for this. And let's see, Let's delete this because I think I have done something wrong. Let me check that quickly. This is the copy, and one copy and one copy here. So we have to write this, and let's say id, and let's say for space is going to be space 2 copy 1. So this is the space 2 copy 1 here, and let's see if anything have to change. Space 2 copy 1. So let's do this, and let's see the property we have used for fill, uh, vertical, horizontal, and vertical, horizontal, both, and width and height. These are the four things we need. Let's say vertical, horizontal first, inline, and let's say this last used id, and then horizontal here, and let's copy to the vertical. It's going to be vertically center, and then the height is always going to be fill parent, so it's going to be -2 here, and for width it's always going to be fill parent. So it's generated. Also we have to generate this button. Let's generate, and not the parent id, because we have to generate in the last used id. So this is going away, and button here, and let's see the properties of the button. Background color, font size, width, height, shape, and text color. Let's say any button, last used id, let's make it inline, and then let's say the background color of the background color as same as this. Copy this and say font size, font size, and height. Select the height of the button, and width also change to the width. The problem is we cannot use the shape here, I think. Let's refresh this and see what we get. We have generated, let's try to change the background color so we can see where the problems we are getting here. Let's change, and this is going to be vertical and parent here. And disable this for now and try to change the color of this thing. And let's see the results here. Well, it is not showing me vertically, it is showing only horizontally. Sorry, it is showing vertically, but I need horizontally, so it is creating this. Okay, so this is going very wrong here because we have to run another loop here with 7 times. Let's say refresh. Okay, now it is generated. Let me find out why I don't have this space in the beginning. Let's say it is creating inside the parent with some space to, let me check, this is the width, we don't need height, and this is the what we are creating, and width coming. Okay, so here's the problem. Let's say width and refresh the page again, and we have to create this as well after this here, so we can get both side the same space. And on my phone I can see very clearly the design looks okay to me. And after this we have to create another space, which is this here, and let's grab this out. It's a width and height, width and height. Let's say component here as well. Let's say add component as well, so we can use this dynamically as well here. And this is the height here, and this is the width here, and the component will come up here. And let's say component component. So this component is going to be here, and let's change this to the width. Let's grab this here, and then we have to generate another um, space here down below, which is this. And this is not going inside the horizontal, this is going inside the dates container. So let's say inside the row id, no, not row id, it's going to be the dates container. Inside the date container, let's say this is the component, and this is the width here. And let's say let's give the 5 weight, because it doesn't matter about the weight. And let's say to the height, and this will work perfectly. Let me check in my companion, which is disconnected at the moment. Let me just reconnect this. And everything is working as I expected. Now let's try to make this oval shape, and let's give some text, like any date or something like that. Let's refresh, and we can try to set container property. If we can make this component is going to be the last used id component, and the name of the property is shape, and the value is going to be let's say oval, oval, oval. So let's say oval, oval. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it's working or not, or maybe we can get some errors. Yes, we got the error. Button base shape argument one has type int. Got. So it's going, it should be integer, not the value. 1 2 3 4. Let's try 0 1 2 3. Let's try 3 value. It is expecting the 3 here, so let's try 3 or maybe 4, not sure if it's counting from 0 or from 1. Oh, it worked. It really worked. It become around. Oh my god. And let's change the color of the text, which is select from here, and sorry, touch color, text color. And let's see the results. And here you go, and it's working. But I don't know why this thing didn't work. This space, let's say Did's container component is this space here. Okay, let's say this one and this one and this one. Copy one, let's say um let's say this, and we need the height here, and let's refresh and see the results what we get. and and here we go, it working. Got some spaces down below. And now we can delete the color thing, we don't need this. Let's refresh. One more thing we have to do is the button thing, which is border shadow. And I can see little shadow down below, so I can try to get this rid away. So let me check border shadow. No, there's no property here, but we can try this way. Let's say border shadow is going to be, let's keep this here, numeric value. If we get any error, so we can has type boolean value, so it is expecting the boolean value, which is this, true or false. So we need false here. Let's refresh and save that again, and voila, voila, it is really voila. This is going to be very nice tutorial over until today, and it's really great tutorial I have made. And let's try to remove these things. And I want to try more things like horizontal arrangement. Copy this and let's go back to the top, and I want to try something like this. If I get any error message or not, because oh, it's working, it is working. So we don't need these stupid things. I mean, yeah, we need this. So we can change all everything from the here. Let's say vertical, um, vertical center, which is 2. So we can return this 2 here. Let's grab this and 2 vertically center. Oh, it is working. I didn't know that I can use this way. And height is going to be 44 pixels. 44 pixels. let's say 44 pixels, and this here, and this is the space we can use. This space here, like space SPS. Let's see if it is working or not. So it's saying class not found exception, com dot google dot environment runtime space. So this is the runtime space error, and we have used the same thing here. Component is space. If I see here, the component is going to be space, or I can say I can try this way if it is working. Let's see. Is still the same error. Language class not found exception from .google runtime case. Let's try space this way, and I don't know why this space thing doesn't work, but let's say how much space we need here is 10 pixels, so we can say 10 here, width is going to be 10, and let's see, this space is 5 pixels, so let's add 5 pixel height here. Clean this up. Let's refresh companion and check the results. Now it is working at the moment, but the problem is I don't know why space is not accepted. So we'll work out that later. Let's get back to this vertical arrangement and try this arrangement here. Vertical arrangement. Let's refresh this. And we have got another error. I think I missed spelled here. Let's try another again. Refresh vertical arrangement if it is generated or not, and the results we get is done, and we got the right results here. So this is the vertical arrangement here, this one, and Let's see the properties. We have used fill parent, center, horizontal 3, vertical 2. Horizontal 3 and vertical 2. Fill parent, horizontal 3 and vertical 2. So fill parent and fill parent, we don't need the color. Then, oh, just wait a minute, let's refresh if it we don't get any problem here. Everything is working fine. Let's try to generate the button here and refresh. And button has been generated, and the color of the button is going to be mostly white all the time. And font size, height and width, let's say font size 12.5, and width and height is going to be 44. So font size is going to be using maths. I'm using some decimals. 12.5. Let's refresh. If we don't see get any error, width and height is going to be 44. Yeah, we didn't get any error, so we can delete these things. And also this, we can add color for the text, like really something like dark, and then shape, creating a shape here. Even if we delete, we won't get any error now, but the problem is with only space. Okay, so we were getting component. Let's delete this component and try to add space and refresh, and let's see the results on my phone screen. And we got the space error. It is saying space runtime error space. So it means space is not acceptable as PS. Let's ask this question to the community. um, let's try another color here, and mark this, save this, and let's go to the space. print screen, grab this here, and let's say save it. And now let's go to the community or in my group, and I will ask. Okay, I have posted in my WhatsApp group code community. Will get some help soon, and until then let's keep trying. And let's say this here, refresh this, and we can also check why this we are getting with uh, by printing this somewhere in the text or label. Let's try this, and component, let's see what it is returning. Okay, I have got some a message from the guy. He said use space view, and let's say let's grab this out and refresh. And it worked, but I didn't thought about it, to use space view. So let me um, reply him back. Think about that. So let me reply, and it works. So we can use space view here. We don't need this here. And for component, we can delete this component from here. Let's say, oh sorry, let's say width, height, and parent id. Let's delete this component, come this up here and use this here. And we need parent id and hit width and height. And let's say these views are going to be away because we don't need that. And let's say first it's width here and some height here and some width again on the side, and let's make it here. Yeah, it's working. And I didn't think about that, if I should write space view. Well, we'll check. Let me refresh and check this up and delete this thing, so we don't need any error. And let's copy this screen to the screen 2 just to check everything is working fine. it is copying to the another page. And now I can try to delete these things. So we can make this clean design here. And let's keep this video running, and because it's a 130 minute and will take 1/2 an hour, we'll make 2 hour video, because that's what we need for our, we'll get so much, you know. Let's delete this. And let's delete this as well. Also delete this as well. And let's try to add some color for the background of the button here. This is the color by default, and we can use number here. Let's say number, and let's see where the parent ID, and before that we can say number, and this number is coming from here. Okay, so now we can check here. Oh, we don't need this here. Let's delete this. Also delete this. We need this if condition here. Let's say if the number is equal to something like that. uh, let's say if it is 14, then this color, else keep this a white color, and delete this, we don't need. And then we can change this color to the selected color here. We have made the selected color here, and we can refresh. And number is saying nothing, so we can just test this out. Number, maybe this is because, so we have this number, not the another number. So we can use x value here, which is going to x, and then this number. And now let's try a refresh and delete this because it just number is going to be number x. So 5. Okay, let's say if it is, we don't need this number because it is returning the 5 only. So let's say if this is 5, then the color is going to be we have to calculate, I think, like 5 times 1. If it gives 1, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and it will run for 7 times. 7 8 9 10. So let's say here date, and then keep this adding this date and the number, and it is going to be a date, and then now refresh. Let's see if it is equal to 5, will be selected only 1 5. Now let's see what the number is returning. It is saying the number, oh, so it is adding the number like 1, let's say 7, let's say it's a 0, 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, and then it's a 1 plus 1 2, and then 2 plus 1, oh, not number. So it is not adding the number, just add the 1, the total value of the 1. Let's refresh, and check this out. Let's refresh again and let me see the results. 0 plus 1. Okay, now we have selected this, and then why it is returning 70? I got another problem here, so I have to take a look, deep look here, what is happening. And now we have to create this and font color. Let's duplicate. When it's white, then font color is going to be this. When it's colored, and then it is going to be a white color. Is it fine? Let me check. Let's say 14 again and refresh. Let's refresh this again and see the results what we get, and we get all the results here. And let's see this again. Few things we don't need that, like this calendar page, so we can delete this by removing this screen button and paste that screen name, and just let me wait for my design to load in my phone. It is very slow. And let's delete this. Also delete this as well, and let's go to screen 2. We don't need this either, so we can remove this screen as well. And we have left only screen 3, where our design and everything is placed. Let's click this, make sure you save. Yeah, it is working fine in my phone. And now